Imagine a man whose influence was so profound, it could sway the fate of an entire empire. This man is none other than Grigori Rasputin. A figure shrouded in mystery and controversy, Rasputin's story is one that continues to fascinate and confound historians. Born in the harsh Siberian wilderness, his life took a turn that nobody could have predicted. From a simple peasant, he ascended to the heights of Russian society, becoming a key player in the imperial court. His name has become synonymous with power, mysticism and intrigue, yet behind the enigma there existed a man of humble beginnings, whose path to prominence was anything but ordinary. His story is marked by a series of unlikely events and strange twists of fate. But how does a Siberian peasant become an influential figure in the Russian court? Our journey into the enigma of Rasputin begins in the small village of Pokrovskoye. In the remote village of Pokrovskoye, Rasputin's spiritual journey began. Born into a peasant family, he grew up amidst the harsh realities of rural Russia. As a young man, he married Praskovia Dubrovina, and together they had 7 children, though only 3 survived infancy. Life was simple, yet something within Rasputin yearned for more. His spiritual awakening occurred during a pilgrimage to the St. Nicholas Monastery. It was a transformative experience, one that marked the beginning of his path as a self-proclaimed holy man. The once ordinary peasant found himself drawn towards the divine, his heart consumed by a newfound purpose. In a world where tradition dictated the course of life, Rasputin chose the road less traveled. He left his family and the comforts of home to wander across the vast landscapes of Russia. His intense charisma and spiritual aura were magnetic, attracting followers from all walks of life. With his intense charisma and spiritual aura, Rasputin began to attract followers, leading him to the doors of the Russian imperial court. In the heart of Russia, the Tsar and his family were grappling with their son's incurable disease. Enter Rasputin, the mystic healer. In the grand halls of the Russian imperial court, Grigori Rasputin was introduced as a man of spiritual prowess, a mystic healer, someone who could potentially save the Tsarevich Alexei. The young prince was suffering from a rare genetic disease, hemophilia, for which there was no known cure. Rasputin, with his rustic charm and apparent healing abilities, was seen as a beacon of hope. The Tsar, Nicholas II, and his wife Tsarina Alexandra were desperately seeking a miracle for their son. Rasputin's arrival seemed to bring about a change in the prince's health. Whether it was Rasputin's prayers, his calming presence, or some inexplicable power, the Tsarevich seemed to improve under his care. This miraculous recovery elevated Rasputin's position in the eyes of the Tsar and Tsarina, and he soon became a trusted advisor. However, Rasputin's increasing influence over the royal couple didn't sit well with everyone. The Russian nobility and church officials began to grow wary of this commoner's sway over the highest echelons of power. They questioned his methods, his morals, and his intentions. Rumors began to circulate about scandalous behavior, about Rasputin's alleged manipulation of the royal couple, and about his disregard for the sanctity of the court. Yet, in the face of mounting criticism and suspicion, Rasputin remained unscathed. His hold over the imperial family seemed unbreakable. His critics were powerless, unable to shake the Tsar's faith in his mystic friend. The more they tried to discredit Rasputin, the more the royal couple defended him. It was clear that Rasputin's power within the imperial court was not just a product of his healing abilities, but also a result of his uncanny ability to manipulate and control. Rasputin's power within the imperial court was unquestionable, but his influence was about to take a dark turn. In the midst of World War I, Rasputin's influence reached its peak, but his downfall was imminent. As World War I raged on, Russia was a cauldron of political unrest. The war had resulted in economic hardship and widespread discontent among the Russian populace. In this tumultuous climate, Rasputin's sway over the imperial family became a source of controversy. The mystic from Siberia, once revered, was now seen as a puppeteer pulling the strings of the Russian government. Rasputin's involvement in government decisions, particularly those related to the war, stirred resentment among the nobility and the general public. His recommendations were viewed as irrational, further exacerbating the crisis. Rumors circulated that he was using his influence to negotiate a separate peace with Germany, a move that would have been disastrous for Russia's allies. The mounting outrage led to several conspiracies to murder Rasputin, orchestrated by members of the nobility and political figures who saw him as a threat to the stability of the empire. His death, when it came, was as mysterious and controversial as his life. He was reportedly poisoned, shot, and finally drowned in the icy waters of the Neva River in December 1916. The news of Rasputin's death sent shockwaves through the imperial court. The man who had been a spiritual guide to the Tsarina and a friend to the Tsar was no more. The imperial family was left bereft of the mystic's guidance, and the vacuum of his influence was filled by increased political turmoil. Rasputin's death was a significant event that added fuel to the already burning fire of revolution. The public, already disillusioned with the Tsar's governance, saw Rasputin's death as proof of the corruption and decay within the imperial court. This further eroded the public's faith in the monarchy, setting the stage for the fall of the Russian Empire. Rasputin's death marked the end of an era, paving the way for the fall of the Russian Empire. Nearly a century later, the name Rasputin still echoes with mystery and intrigue. Born a humble Siberian peasant, Grigori Rasputin rose to become a figure of immense influence in the Russian court. His spiritual aura and alleged healing abilities drew the attention of the Tsar's family, particularly Tsarina Alexandra, who saw in him a divine emissary capable of curing her son's hemophilia. But his rise was not without controversy. Accusations of debauchery and manipulation plagued his reputation. His unconventional ways and influence over the Tsar's family sparked fear and resentment among the nobility and clergy, leading to a plot to end his life. Even in death, the mystique surrounding Rasputin persisted. His demise was as dramatic and mysterious as his life, filled with tales of poison, gunshot wounds, and a final icy plunge in the Neva River. Grigori Rasputin, a man shrouded in mystery, a divine madman or manipulative charlatan, his story remains an enigma in the annals of history.